Next up is Multriply. Trisha, come on up.
Hi. Multriply allows tourists to buy tours anytime, any place. I spent 10 years working for Ride the Ducks of Seattle. Among other things, I managed their technology, which means for more than a decade, I've been trying to figure out, why do you need to stand in line for a paper ticket to get on a duck tour? You don't need to stand in line or get a paper ticket to check into your hotel or get on your airline. Why is it so much different for activities and attractions? And the reason is that global distribution systems connect hotels and airlines like Alaska and Marriott to OTAs like Expedia and Priceline. Unfortunately, activities and the fun things that you do on vacation don't have that technical infrastructure. Cutting-edge infrastructure in tours and activity space is this. I'm building a global distribution system for activities. I'm connecting companies like Ride the Ducks to companies like Expedia and TripAdvisor with real-time inventory. And it's not a small industry. Americans spend $37 billion a year having fun on vacation. Museums, zoos, aquariums, duck tours, Segway tours, food tours, walking tours, double-decker buses, trolleys, Ferris wheels. $37 billion a year. And what's interesting is that only 8% of the tickets in this industry are sold through third parties. And when you compare that to the hotel industry, where 50% of their room nights don't come from those brands, I believe that 8% can be different. Because when you shop for travel, you're not just shopping on Expedia and TripAdvisor. You're shopping on a lot of other websites. Travelers visit an average of 38 websites while booking and planning their vacation. And that's not even to mention the potential distribution partners in city. If all of these partners were selling activity tickets, we believe that we can grow that 8% to 25%, making activity distribution a $1.6 billion opportunity in the US alone. Now we're creating a marketplace, and that's hard. But we have a unique go-to-market strategy. We're giving attractions white label concierge apps. We're replicating the word-of-mouth experience that they get with concierges through technology. And we're turning companies like Ride the Ducks into distribution portals like Expedia. Now, the benefit to you as a tourist is that you get to chat with your concierge on your phone. You get alerted via beacon technology to that cool museum that's right around the corner that you didn't know about. And you get to book tickets all with real-time inventory. It's like having a concierge at your fingertips, all on your phone. Now for the attraction, this is a no-brainer opportunity for them. They've already been discovered, you've already built trust with the tourist, and so it's a brand extension for them. You visit the Ducks, you have a great time, and you explore the rest of Seattle with Ride the Ducks. Ride the Ducks earns commissions off tickets that they sell through their app, and through the other apps in the ecosystem, they sell more tickets. It also gives them a fifth booking channel through an app that's in the App Store versus their mobile, desktop, and direct sales. For them, it's a moneymaker, and we've made it really easy for them. With just a logo, we can white label an app for them and have it in the marketplace. And we're APIing into their inventory system, so there's no hassle for them, and they don't have to manage anything ongoing. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, lady, I'm not downloading an app for 3 days. Well, when was the last time you were at a convention and downloaded an app for 3 days? It was pretty useful, and then you got rid of it. That's all I need. We make money off transactions. So once you download the app, when you want to buy a museum ticket, you pay the same $100 for the museum for your family to go, just like you would if you were going direct. The museum gets $80 of that $100, same as they would if they sold through Expedia. And Ride the Ducks, whose app you downloaded, they get a $3 commission. I keep $17 for the technology and building out and managing that. Now, in Seattle, how much money could this app really make? There's 198 attractions in Seattle. They get 23.5 million visitors a year. Now, a good app has about 1% download rate and 2% usage. But when we surveyed 50 people that rode the Ducks and asked them if they would download an app to explore the rest of their Seattle vacation, 30% said yes or probably. So our goal is to get downloads up to 5%. And if we get 2% of people that are purchasing, That makes the app in Seattle making Multriply revenue of almost $1 million. So how does this scale? We found 15,078 attractions in 324 US cities. That's a lot of airline miles. So how do we scale faster? Turns out this completely fragmented market is concentrated. In the top 30 markets in the US are 53% of those attractions in only 30 US cities, representing an opportunity for us of $36 million a year. Now, $36 million is a small fraction of the $1.6 billion opportunity I shared with you earlier. And the app is really a loss leader for us. It's a way for us to exchange something that the attraction wants in exchange for content and inventory, so that we can power companies like Alaska Airlines to sell attraction tickets, and the Marriott Hotel, and Priceline, and Airbnb, and Google, and all of the partners that are currently selling airline and hotels. Real-time inventory is the key to this market. And when you look at what people are doing in the competitive space, you can see that no one is approaching this with a B2B technology perspective. Everyone's trying to build brands. And building brands is hard. But the attractions have already built a brand. They've been discovered and they've built trust with their guests, and so we're extending that. I'm building my team, and I've got some great advisors. Philip Wolf built a travel research company, and now he serves on the board of 2 publicly traded travel companies. Brian Tracy, CEO of Ride the Ducks, has spent 20 years in this industry. Me? I spent 10 years in this industry, managing a P&L and building the Ride the Ducks marketing strategy to more than 1 million hits a year. I got the prestigious SOAR grant from Vanderbilt University and $25,000 for Multriply. And right before graduation, I raised $1.5 million for the school to extend entrepreneurship. I spent 10 years in this industry making things happen, and I'm excited to bring the technology that I always wanted to this market. I'm building Multriply. It's a global distribution platform for activities and attractions. The vision is to have activities sold everywhere that airlines and hotels are sold. And we're going to market with a white label concierge app. I want small business to be able to have access to the technology that corporate America has. And I believe that I'm building an $800 million company, and I'd love for you to join me. Thank you.
All right, I'm Jay, and I'm the Due Diligence Lead for Multriply. Once again, nice job. You always do a great job presenting to us. It's also a bit of a pivot from where you started out with. About 6 weeks ago when we were first talking, you were talking about entering in as a point of sale approach, and we're now looking at a mobile app. Now, can you talk a little bit about what made you make that change in the decision?
Yeah. So when I talked about the mobile app, it really is a trade for access to content and inventory. And a point of sale platform is how those are controlled. What's interesting is that, that's a hard market to go in. The competitors that are in this space now are about 3 years ahead of us and have raised some money. And when I looked at how is it going to be easy, because I'm building a marketplace, how am I easily going to get all the attractions on board? It seemed like that was maybe a little bit more of an uphill battle. And when I started talking about sort of one of the long-term visions was to have an app ecosystem within local destinations, the attractions that I was talking to are all like, oh, I want to see that. I mean, I need a point of sale system too, but what's that? Is that easy? Can I have that by spring? And the truth is it's a faster process. The other thing is right now I'm a solo founder, and building apps is much easier to build than a point of sale platform when you don't have a technical co-founder. So I'm excited about being faster to market and being able to do that on my own.
Very good. So that sets up the next question, which we kind of knew was coming.
Yep.
We've talked about it a couple times. You are uniquely in SAC 10, the only company who's a solo founder who's made it this far to the finals.
Woo.
So,
Yeah. I'm also the only lady on stage, so all of the ladies.
So you mentioned maybe needing a technical co-founder to join you in the company. Do you want to talk a little bit about your thoughts on that process you've been taking and what you see in the future?
Yeah, so I'm definitely looking for a technical co-founder. I want this to be a partnership that I build with someone else. And I'm being really patient about finding the right person. I've gotten a lot of great advice from a number of advisors that, the wrong co-founder can really set you back further than simply being patient. So I have coffee a number of times a week. I get introduced through almost every meeting I have to people in the tech space. I just graduated in May in Nashville and moved back to Seattle. And even though my relationships in the tourism industry are really strong, my relationships in the entrepreneur and startup and tech community, I'm building those from scratch. So I've been here for a couple months. I'm really excited about the traction that I'm making, and I know it's just a matter of time before I bring on a technical person to the team.
One aspect of that, something that we look at in each of our founders and our founding teams is, are you coachable? Can you take advice and direction from others? I think there's probably at least 6 members of SAC 10 who have helped you try to find a technical founder, given you advice. And I have to say, it's been really a joy working with you on this, because you're really taking that to heart. And I especially like the fact that you're being very careful about your co-founders, because it is so important, the team that you finally built.
You know, this is really an adventure and a journey for me and for the tours and activities space. I think that's one of the strongest things about, having 10 years of experience is that, when I'm making decisions about where we're going next and how we're shifting, it's not based on a crystal ball and saying like, well, I think this, and I read some stuff on Google. I have relationships in the industry and 10 years of experience to really say, okay, let's make some educated decisions about that, because I'm gonna pivot and we're gonna shift and we're gonna figure it out. But I think 10 years of experience, and I helped grow Ride the Ducks of Seattle from 20 to more than 120 employees. So even though that's not exactly startup experience, it's going to be really helpful over the next few years.
Something else that really stood out during the due diligence was the amount of background research that you've done on the market. So you alluded to it a little bit. This is a large and diverse market. It's a lot of small and medium businesses, as well as a few large opportunities. And you had a spreadsheet that we saw from early on in your business where you had over 1,000 businesses across the U.S. that you had analyzed and use that as part of your competitive analysis. How do you think, in 20 seconds, that's going to help you in your future?
So the great thing about tours and activities is they're all online, they're easy to discover, they're easy to research. And what's great is that real-time booking is the key to this inventory, and knowing after we build an API into one inventory management system, what activities can we go after and bring them on easily without having to spend more money on API. So I'm excited about that, allowing me to go quicker. Thank you.